Very excited to talk to our next guest. He's honestly one of the most exciting fighters in all of boxing. You guys want offense, you want a show, you want punches and bunches, you want to watch David Benavidez. He's going to be back in action on May 21st. Showtime Championship Boxing taking on David Lemieux. That's an all offense fight. That is going to be a lot of punches thrown. David, thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me on, man.
So when did you get this style, David? This idea, like, you're obviously very talented and well-rounded and all that, but you are a fan-pleasing fighter. Was there ever a time in your career where somebody said, hey, tone it down a little? Like, we know how exciting you can be. We know you don't have to get into firefights all the time, throw all these punches and leave yourself out there. It's obviously had a lot of success for you, but did anybody ever try to hone that in a little bit? Because thankfully you haven't, and every time you tune into one of your fights, it's unbelievably fun to watch.
Yeah, this is always been the way I've been fighting ever since I was a little kid. I feel like I've always had a lot to prove because I was a bigger kid, and every time I would get in the ring, I'm not getting in the ring, but when they'd see me outside the ring, people laugh at me because I was a little bit bigger. So, and then when I'd go in there and spar the bigger guys and the world champions, I kind of had to fight for my respect. I didn't want to be that fighter that just ran around the ring. So I've always learned to fight. I've always had this fighting style, and it's worked for me up to this point, and I feel like the fans love it. So we're gonna keep on going.
So you don't think as the fights get tougher, you get to higher and higher grounds, like you don't think any of that's going to change. This is always going to be the guy that we see and that will lead you to all the success that you want.
Definitely when I get as the fights go by, to this point, the fighters that I fought, they don't hit hard and the punches don't hurt me. But as you get, you face better opponents, the defense has to get a little better. Everything has to evolve. Definitely, but as of right now, I'm just having fun with it. This is the way I fight. The people love to see me fight like this, and it's until I get a fighter that I really have to use the defense or have to slip punches and not stay there, then I'm going to keep doing the same thing.
Now, David Lemieux is a guy who does hit hard, but he is he's been around the block. Is he a guy that you see any threats with? You got to take everybody seriously, obviously, but I got to imagine you, a man in your prime, feeling yourself on the way to the rise to great championships and all that. Like, does this feel like a tune-up? Does this feel like a lesson you're taking on a guy who's been there, done that? What do you make of this matchup?
So I take every fight in my career, I take it one fight at a time, but I feel like this is the most important fight up to this date right now. And I've trained extremely hard for this fight, and definitely David Lemieux is definitely a threat. He has a lot of power, he has a lot of knockouts, and he has a lot of experience too. So I'm not just going to go in there reckless. I'm going to go in there, see what he has, fill him out. But I feel like if there's opportunity for me to land a lot of punches and land my combinations, then I'm definitely going to let him go. I'm going to be looking for the knockout for every single fight in my career. I'm always going to be looking for the knockout. I love knockouts and I love stoppages. So if there's room to stop him or to hurt him and I see it, I'm definitely going to take that chance.
I feel like when we've talked before about, your goals and big fights, like the Canelos of the world and all that type of stuff, you said, like, everything's going to take care of itself. But you were kind of rumored in there for a little bit. There was talks that maybe Canelo was going to go the PBC route and fight you and Charlo and all that. Do you feel like there needs to be a statement to continue having the fans excited about you this weekend so people keep clamoring for those types of fights? Or, again, do you just feel like that stuff's going to take care of itself?
I just feel like I need to keep doing what I'm doing. Honestly, I just need to keep winning. If there is a huge statement and I knock this guy out in the first round, then what makes you think Canelo's going to want to fight me right away? If he hasn't wanted to fight me already, I feel like Canelo, he's just doing this thing. He doesn't really care if fans are calling for this fight because not only the fans, but boxing legends are calling for the fight with me and him. So the fight's not happening because he doesn't care about that. He's just doing what he thinks is in his best interest. But in reality, I'm getting more experience. The more guys I fight, I'm feeling more comfortable in there. I'm getting more experience. I'm learning myself better. And, I feel like like you said, things are just going to take care of itself. I need to keep just beating the people that are in front of me. And, I feel like after I win this fight, I'm going to have more leverage with the WBC interim title. And then maybe that can open the door to Jamel Charlo or Caleb Plant or any of the other guys at 168. I'm just ready to fight whoever, whenever.
And guys that you've obviously had back and forth with, you're not afraid to let these guys know, like, hey, you're ready to get into it. Can you take us into the altercation that happened at Ugas versus Spence? What the hell was going on there, man?
Yeah, I seen him, and these guys, they try to think they're freaking tough. They think they're gangsters, and he was talking crap to my dad. And I basically went up to him and I pushed him on the shoulder. And I said he was a bitch, and I beat his ass. And that's what just started everything. Because I don't care what none of these guys think. They can do whatever they want to do, but they're not going to disrespect me or my family in any type of way. I'm not scared of any of these guys. And they wanted to get in a fist fight, we could do a fist fight. They want to take the professional route and fight in the ring, we could do that. I'm not going to let nobody talk to me or disrespect me no type of way that I don't like.
It is a tough thing though for you because like you're obviously you make your living in a crazy way. You take punches, you give punches in the face. You're known as a tough guy. I gotta imagine that's a thing though. Like we're fighters trying each other. It's like, hey, we have a professional route. We could go do this and make tons of money. I don't understand why you want to do this for free outside of a ring just for cameras.
It's just because the type of guys those guys are. They think they're street dudes and they think they're hard. They think this and that. But that honestly, at the end of the day, when I looked into the eyes and he seen that I was serious about it, I pushed him and then he went behind his bodyguards. And these guys are not really. They really don't play that part that they try to portray to the media. Those guys are really scared. I could tell when I pushed Charlo. I seen in his eyes that he was scared. But like I said, boxers are high heads. We all know we can fight. So whatever they want to do. Like I said, I'm not going to have nobody disrespect me in any type of way. And it could have been worse. And I do admit that it was a mistake. It could have been a big altercation and we could have gone to fight right there and it could have been worse than what had actually happened. But thank God it didn't. And, now I feel like, but that's what people wanted to see, honestly. They wanted to see us confront each other. That's what kind of throws me off. Like, oh, yeah, we want to see them confront each other. And then when we confront each other, like, oh, they shouldn't have did that. This and that, but it's entertainment at the end of the day. So it is what it is.
Listen, that's gonna look great in the pay-per-view lead up, man. It's gonna be it's gonna sell a lot of fights. It's that's what that's gonna do. So ultimately, yeah, it's like I'm sure it's one of those things where you don't want to have it, but I feel like it's gonna have a benefit for you at the end of the day.
Yeah, it definitely makes a better storyline.
How much interest do you have this weekend in Canelo Bivol? Because I gotta be honest with you, man, like. When the options came out and they were talking about that route of Bivol, Triple G, the Triple G fights were great, but I kind of feel like I've been there, done that. I wanted to see Canelo take on the next generation guys. Like I was much more interested in the route of taking on you and taking on Charlo. So I guess from you maybe not getting that bout, however close it may have been, you maybe not thinking that it was close at all. I don't know. I'm not in those negotiations, but how much interest are you going to have in his fight this weekend?
Yeah, I have interest in it like any other boxing fight. I'm a big boxing fan. I love to watch boxing and it's going to be a great fight. It's a big event. It's going to be a good fight. I want to see how Canelo does with Bivol's, the way he keeps his distance and his power in his right hand. But I feel like, I've sparred Bivol before, so I know his inside game is not really that good. So I know once Canelo gets on the inside of him, like gets in close range and throws body shots, he's gonna have a lot of success. But Bivol does have a strong right hand. He's had a lot of good fights, so it's definitely just up to those guys. So I'm excited just to see a good fight on Saturday.
Talking to David Benavidez, you guys can watch him May 21st. He'll be fighting on Showtime Championship Boxing against David Lemieux. A couple more before we get you out of here, David. As a big boxing fan, fight that doesn't involve you, but just as a fan, you want to see the fight that has to happen, that you just like you'd want to get your popcorn, kick back, watch it, either ringside as a fan or on television. What's the fight right now that you'd love to see?
Well, there's 3 fights. One of them is already made. The one I'm really excited to see is Donaire and Inoue 2.
Yes.
The next one is Terrence Crawford and what's his name? Errol Spence.
Yep.
And then the fight I would love to see is I don't know if it may ever happen, but I'd still love to see it. Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua.
Yes.
I think that's still an amazing fight to make happen.
What's the number one thing you want to showcase May 21st when you take on David Lemieux? The message that you want to send in this fight? Is it just getting better? Is it big statement? Obviously, you're fighting for an interim championship, so that's a big piece for you as well. Like, what's the most important thing coming out of this upcoming matchup?
I just want to go in there and give a good show to the fans and get a win by stoppage or knockout. And, just bring the energy back to Phoenix, Arizona. This is my second time headlining in Phoenix, Arizona, my home city. So I'm just excited to have all the people come out and, just have a good fight and really bring real boxing back to Phoenix, Arizona.
It's always fun talking to you, man. Thank you so much. Always entertaining on the mic and always entertaining in the ring, man. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, sir.